Look at any large ship in the world. Above the water, dark hull, white paint, company logos. Below the waterline, always red. Always. Every cargo ship, every tanker, every naval vessel, the same red stripe. And almost nobody ever asks why. That red paint is not decoration. It is a weapon, a chemical defense system keeping one of the most aggressive ecosystems on Earth from eating your ship alive from underneath. By the end of this video, you will understand why without that red paint, a ship crossing the Atlantic would arrive slower, heavier, and damaged. Let's get into it. The ocean is full of life. Microscopic organisms are constantly searching for a hard surface to attach to. A ship's hull is perfect, dark, still relative to the surrounding water, enormous. Within weeks of a ship entering the water without protection, barnacles begin attaching, then algae, then tube worms, then mussels. A ship left long enough develops an entirely new ecosystem on its hull. That biological layer is called biofouling, and it is not just ugly, it is catastrophic for performance. A fouled hull creates drag, the engine works harder, the ship moves slower. Studies have shown that a heavily fouled hull increases fuel consumption by up to 40%. On a ship that burns hundreds of tons of fuel per day, that is a financial disaster. For centuries, this was the single biggest operational problem in maritime history. Ships would slow down mid-voyage, arrive late, cost fortunes in extra fuel, and require expensive dry docking every few months just to clean the hull. And then someone, thousands of years ago, discovered the solution. Not a chemist, not a scientist, a sailor who noticed something strange about copper. The Phoenicians were one of the greatest seafaring civilizations in history. Around 700 BCE, they began sheathing the underwater portion of their wooden hulls with thin sheets of copper. They did it to protect the wood from shipworms, tiny burrowing mollusks that drill through timber and hollow it out from the inside. Copper was toxic enough to stop them. Shipworms were one of the deadliest threats in maritime history. They were invisible, silent, and relentless. They have sunk more ships than any storm. Copper stopped them dead. By the 1700s, the British Royal Navy was copper sheathing every warship below the waterline, not just for worms, but because a clean copper hull moved faster than a fouled wooden one. Copper-bottomed ships were measurably faster at sea. In naval warfare, speed was survival. The phrase copper-bottomed guarantee, meaning absolutely reliable, came directly from this era of shipbuilding. The copper principle never changed. Modern antifouling paint is still based on copper oxide, the same element the Phoenicians discovered 3,000 years ago, just reformulated for scale. Modern antifouling paint works by slowly releasing microscopic amounts of copper into the water immediately surrounding the hull. That copper is toxic to barnacles, algae, and marine worms. As the ship moves, water flows across the hull, slowly eroding the outer paint layer and releasing fresh copper underneath. The paint is designed to ablate, to self-renew continuously throughout the voyage. The red color comes from copper oxide, the oxidized form of copper. Other anti-fouling paints exist in brown and black, but red became the standard, and red is what the world recognizes. Ships are dry docked every 3 to 5 years to reapply the anti-fouling coating. The process takes weeks and costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it saves millions in fuel and prevents structural damage. That red stripe you have seen your whole life without questioning is 3,000 years of maritime knowledge compressed into a single coat of paint. Ancient problem, ancient solution. Still working. Right now, approximately 50,000 large ships are moving across the world's oceans. Every single one of them is protected below the waterline by the same principle a Phoenician sailor figured out near the Mediterranean coast.
The next time you see a ship, in a harbor, in a photograph, in a documentary, look below the waterline. The red is not decoration. It is a 3,000-year-old conversation with the ocean. And the ocean is still trying to win, every hour, every mile. The red paint is the only thing standing in its way. If this changed how you see ships, hit subscribe. Every week we find the hidden truth inside the ordinary thing you never thought to question. Share this with someone near the ocean.